I remember having this crazy conversation with a buddy of mine from England who literally was like, he's like, Americans, you're all so sensitive. Like, I don't understand. Americans are very sensitive people. And I was like, really? I don't have that impression. What do you mean by that? And he's like, well, I was out at a bar with some Americans like taking the piss, right? And you take the piss out of someone. And I was saying to someone, he showed us a picture of his girlfriend on his phone, and I was like, oh, she's a bit of a dog's breakfast. And I was like, you called a guy's girlfriend dog's breakfast? It's a miracle you're standing. And I'm a very peaceful guy.
Yeah.
Like that's. Do you not like you're saying sensitive? Have you ever heard the term fighting words? Like those are there's no correct verbal response to what you just said. Only
except for let's take it outside.
Let's take it outside.
That's the only thing you can say.
You might get in trouble from some out there, but that men's rights movement is ridiculous.
I don't care if I get in trouble. Hey, you guys, you can come find me.
Yeah, come find me.
We can hash it out, man.
Yeah,
Do you feel like you're...
Yeah. This would be a good time to plug our live reading of our pilot. We wrote a pilot together, and we are reading it at Videology in Williamsburg.
July 10th.
If you live in New York, you should come see that. And if you're part of the men's rights movement,
yeah,
you should come and gun us down.
Yeah. Why are you trying to humiliate me in front of the whole class? It's just I'm a PhD, but I have just a requirement in English, just a humanities requirement.
Every PhD that comes my way is a reminder that I'm gonna be fucking dead. Fucking dead! Very soon. Your gleeful eye, the way you skip when you walk.
You use your terminal illness to shit on everybody way too dramatically.
Yes. Feeling it more now.
But why not just befriend people? You have a short amount of time left.
Friends? Friends. I lost my friends a long time ago. In a rafting accident. They all died. I lost them in the water.
I'm really sorry to hear that. Franklin, if you want to help on your paper, I can give you help on your paper.
Hey, sorry, I just wanted to check in and see, did somebody steal my lunch? I can't find it anywhere.
Rebecca! With your legs.
Hey, Franklin, take it fucking easy, all right? Take it easy. Take it easy. You're talking about people's legs. Franklin stole your lunch because he's sad because he's going to die soon. So, I don't know why that's all of our responsibility now. Maybe you should do everybody a favor and fucking die.
Humanity has...
I'm not going to be the asshole. What an asshole!
I mean, you'll probably die soon, right?
Not as soon as you, buckaroo. About to pop off and kick your ass. There's no reason to let you live, buddy. It's gotta end here, 'cause it's life. There is no winning and losing. That's made up. The only thing is the time you spend with the people you love. And I don't want to spend any more time with you. And I don't want anyone else to either, so I'm gonna get you.
Grandpa, Grandpa, ow! Grandpa!
Carrie!
Ow, you're so strong for an old man! Ow! Ow! You have generations of strength in your bones!
Kid!
I remember, well, it's a very funny thing, because obviously, like, violence is wrong, and you should talk through problems, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But there's this very interesting thing. I remember being a camp counselor and having this issue where there was this kid who was very cruel to other kids. It was a whole problem. We had to call the kid's parents, and he was, like, verbally abusing kids, and he would like find out stuff about them and like use it to make fun of them. There was a kid who was like very insecure about smarts, and he would call the kid a lot of things that I don't care to repeat on camera that had to do with intellect. And one night he did it, and this kid whipped around, who had asked him like, please stop making fun of me, whipped around and clocked him in the head. And I remember I was directing that, and I walked in, and the kid was like, I walked in to where the kid was, and the kid was reveling, because we have a rule about sending kids home if they're violent. Yeah. And we walked in, and I was like, hey, we called parents, we talked to the nurse, we talked to the camp, and I was like, we're not going to be sending this kid, we called his parents, and we're not going to be sending this kid home because you provoked him and you knew what you were doing. Yeah. He's on a one-strike policy. You guys shouldn't be near each other anymore. And the kid lost it. Was like, that's against the rules. That's against the rules. You're not supposed to do that. And I kind of got in an Evan Kelpie way. I was like, number one, we made up the rules. We made them up. And so we don't want to follow them. And so we won't. So welcome to institutions. And then number two, I was like,
that's the merch number two.
Welcome to institutions. And then I was like, also, for you to know, because I wasn't trying to like mean mug this kid. I was like, for you to know, you're very verbose. You're very good with your words. Other kids aren't. And if you use this skill you have over other people to hurt them all the time, I'm telling you, not as a threat, but as a warning, they will find other ways to express their displeasure. And that might mean getting your ass knocked off the ground a lot. Knock it off.
And that kid, Mark Zuckerberg.
I'm old.
It has to.
We're writing a bunch of racist, inflammatory shit.
No, they'll cast me on SNL.
For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. For he's a jolly good fellow. Which nobody can deny.
They're doing it to hurt my feelings. You can't let people get away with being mean. And if that means you have to destroy their bodies until they're dead, then so be it.
Landon, you know we're recording this, right?
I would hope so.
That thing of like, oh, I don't have buy-in to whatever this Oscar Wilde hurt people's feelings and get away with it thing is. Like, I am going to, like, and again, I do think there's an American thing to this, of having talked with like my British friends, of like, I am unfailingly nice, like nice and kind to the point where it might make you uncomfortable how sincere I'm being. And if you try to bond with me by being mean to me and I'm unfamiliar with you, there's going to be real aggression, and it won't be witty. It's not going to be witty aggression. It's going to be like real aggression. And I remember like we had that thing, and Jammer did that thing where he like intimidated Axelby, and then we started talking, and then Axelby chimed in again, and real Brennan was like, "Hey man, we're done with you. We're done. We're fully done. Do you want to chime in again?" Did you not hear my man explain the next step after you do it again? Like, it's not going to be good.
Question 91. Have you ever punched someone in the face?
Yes, I have.
Oh.
I can't believe how many stories you're hitting. This is a Slumdog Millionaire. This is wild. Okay. I won't expedite, but I'm just gonna get through it because I don't want the crown in this case of the longest episode.
I think the crowd's coming down whether the story comes out or not, but we'll see. I don't know.
So, Gold Street era, living in Manhattan, working as a bartender. My buddy Jack is an artist. There's a fancy art party. It's like a graduation party. We go with my buddy Connor and my friend Trina. Go to this party. There's like, it's artsy, there's music, there's dancing, people are finger painting on each other's faces. It's like, yeah, the facial expression you just made is priceless. That's exactly the right facial expression.
Okay.
The Jack gets like a Joker smile drawn on his face. I asked for a blue handlebar mustache, which is an inside reference. Talking about nicknames from earlier, there was a period of time where one of my nicknames was the Blue Handlebar Bandito because someone had drawn a blue handlebar mustache on my face at a party, and I had later hooked up with someone while I had the handlebar mustache at the party, and it was the whole thing, and yada, yada, yada. And it was like, here comes the blue handlebar, the bandito, it was that kind of shit.
Oh, yeah.
So I had the blue mustache on. We're walking down, we're at Union Park East. We're passing a 7-Eleven. I was going to get a bottle of water. I come back out and we're walking. And the reason I rushed into the 7-Eleven is because Jack points and says, "Bad luck spot." I go, "What?" Points to the ground. I'm standing in a chalk circle that has the words "bad luck spot" written in it.
Oh, just
I look up and down,
spelled out. Wow.
Literally spelled out. I look up and down in both directions, and there's a bunch of these circles all over the sidewalk in both directions. As a guy who carries a Lucky Charm around in my pocket, let me tell you, I was not keen on standing in a bad luck spot. So I rush into, as the shanty Irish prick that I am, I rush into this bodega, grab a bottle of water, rush back out. Bodega, it was a 7-Eleven, Jesus. Just lost my New Yorker license. And pour it on the street. I pour it on the part that says bad and rub it out with my foot, transforming it into a Lux spot. And I go,
now that's thinking.
Unbeknownst to me, there were. Do you know what crust punks are? Gutter punks are? Crusties?
The name sounds familiar, but no, I don't.
Subculture of these like intense. They're like intense. They're like young people that like aggressively panhandle. They like hang out in Tompkins Square Park. And it's like they're panhandling, but they're also wearing like a $800 spiked like custom leather jacket. It's a whole, there's a whole subculture to it. So I rubbed this thing out, and apparently they had drawn these and didn't take too kindly to it. So they get up in a group and start walking and start muttering at us, and we kind of freeze up and go, oh. And they kind of walk past and around us and through it. And this one kid about my height, little anemic looking, spiked collar, hoodie up, shoulder checks me, pushes into his shoulder, my shoulder.
Oh boy.
And I go, I'm sorry, sir. And he whips around and goes, don't call me sir. And I was like, all right, mister, I'm sorry, so sorry. And they continue walking along, and we kind of huddle up and we're like, Jesus, I didn't know that I didn't see them like hanging out on that stoop or whatever. Like, that was scary. I guess they're mad that, whatever. In an instant, my buddy Jack is on the ground, and the dude who had shoulder checked me is standing where Jack is standing. I didn't see it, but he had snuck up while we were huddled up, while his friends were still kind of walking a little bit, grabbed the back of Jack's hair, grabbed his like waist, and threw him face first into the ground. And starts screaming like, yeah, what? Fuck you. Jack pops up. We all leap back as this guy is not continuing to attack us, but like threatening us. And Jack's glasses are broken in his hand. And glasses are broken in his hand. And I look at Jack and I go, like, my God, are your glasses broken? And he goes, yeah. And I turned to the guy and I'm like, did you just break my friend's glasses? And the guy got up, approached me and got up in my face and said, yeah, you want to fight about it? And I remember the sensation of being in my brain being like, this is horrifying. Like, this guy's attacking us. I can't believe. And then I looked out of my eyes to my right and saw my fist traveling through the air. And I was like, oh no.
It's happening. It's happening.
Oh no. My violent Irish ancestors have possessed my body. They're like, you don't drink. You're not Catholic. You'll at least fight. You're going to fight. And I was like, oh, no. And watch this fist from the air. And again, they call it, it's not called the flight response. It's called fight or flight. It's not up to you. Something in your spine will click and your body's going to have a reaction. So in response to this guy's question, I did not give him a verbal yes. He said, do you want to fight about it? And I punched him in the nose as hard as I could. He stumbled back, and immediately I went full Ralphie from A Christmas Story, because I was like, this dude's got a knife. This dude's got something. Like, this guy clearly enjoys violence. I called him sir and mister. I'm clearly not cut out for this line of work. Yeah. Like, this guy's going to fucking kill me. So at that point, panic set in, and I just bludgeoned this dude. I just jumped, because I was like, this is a situation where if this guy pops back up, life gets very bad. Yeah. So engaged in that. Now I'm going to tell you the last part of the story. I told this one time to a regular of mine at the bar after it happened, and I was telling the story because I was like, I was still like adrenaline high. I couldn't believe that it happened.
Yeah.
And told this to my regular as a cop, and the cop, in response to this next part of the story I'm going to tell you, was like, hey man, that's a cool story. You shouldn't say that part, because that's a felony. But it's been a long time, and this guy's gone, and whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
the dude, I was hitting the guy. I realized I needed to stop hitting him because I was over him. He was crouched down. He wasn't like on his hands and knees, but he was crouched, holding his head because I was punching his head and shoulders and back.
Yeah.
And something went like, this is unsporting. Stand back. And I stood back because I had like full went berserk on the guy.
Yeah.
And he stood up and looked at me and I said, give me all the money you have on you. And he said, fuck you. And I said, you broke my friend's glasses. We're all so broke. We don't have any money. You're going to pay for my friend's glasses.
Yeah.
And that's the part that the cop was like, well, that's robbery. You can't do that. I was like, noted. So the dude the dude says like, you want to fight me for it? I love fighting. And it's this point, like the nerd part of my brain is coming back online. And I'm like, actually, you clearly don't. I tried to fight you and you curled up in a ball and I had to stop punching you because I felt sad for you. So that's not accurate. And that got him really mad and he turned around and whistled for his friends. At this point, his friends kind of have like stopped a little ways down the block. Whistles, it's like, come on, let's get him. His friends look at each other, check in, and keep walking.
Oh, man.
And he turns around to look at me with his eyes wide, and I hold up my arms in this sort of universal come at me bro gesture. Gotta remind you, full blue handlebar mustache, the whole encounter.
I had forgotten about the handlebar.
People forget. You gotta remember the blue handlebar bandito strikes again. And I hold my arms out like, what's it gonna be, man? This dude sprints into traffic. Just whoosh into Park Avenue towards Union Square, immediately can't follow him. Like he almost gets hit. And, any badass part of me is immediately offline at this point. And I reach for something to say and just go full LARPer and just yell, coward, coward!